Doesn't matter if these voices in your head say yes or no, where to go. You can live without them. Stardust, you cannot choose as fate, as if there's no choice. Dead or alive, dead or alive, you can find a way to freedom. Go out, even if your heart can't cope with the fear in your doubts. You can get through, even if they will hold the lie against you. What to do for what cause, what to have for what loss. It's hard to know at first, but you'll break through it. This is moment left. Never let, even when the world is monochrome, doesn't stop for me the turn. Never end, never let, hope will never lose its true color. At the end of the world, holding on to hope that gets me out of the despair that holds me back today. I'll hold my breath and take in the future I want to see. I want it to deplete. Tell me if you can hear even just the sound of my voice, loud and clear, free from the void that once consumed it whole. If this world retains some worth, then there may still be some hope left to honor my destiny and give these feelings a roll. I was crushed by the weight of my impatient dreams, and so I just surrendered without even knowing how to or the road to the endless sky. My mind's in overdrive, and so it lies like feel alive. Let them feel it slowly taking overdrive. The beat of my heart, the me I am today. She will surely carve away and continue on in search of finding who we're meant to be. The answer that I seek, it always will exist in me.
Up to outer space I will go. Latest trends to go with the flow. Holding it in my own hand. Then I want to laugh like I lost my mind. Usually confused all the time. I can't get no satisfaction in activity. Sitting heavily like stones upon my shoulders, weighing down on me. So let's spread our wings to bigger, better things. Flying to another world, let's go. When every door was locked away, with every possibility. Okay, okay, just another day. I'll break the wall that's in my way. I'm shooting past that limit break. I'm certain this is just a piece of cake. Just wait and see how strong I'll be. I'll reach invincibility. This is Dragon Ball Super. Just tell the gods I'm blowing them away.
All this pride that I display, that I bring with me every day, I am so wrong. I'm so scared. Curse my damn facade, my desire to appear as though I'm just fine, not broken. As I sort through my past, I realize, have I even grown? Have I nothing left to show? This cannot be. I will now put the past
last I am here. Why can't I even breathe standing in the wreckage? The rain a lullaby, so I close my eyes. Within this world, if you wish to live another day, you must disguise as a flower that will captivate you. I want to believe, but I cannot believe. I'm powerless, I'm meaningless, like every scar. But as I cry, tears fell inside right through my heart. Through it all, I can hear someone whispering, come near. All that I miss is infinite, and so I say, tomorrow's come with the news I'm waiting for me. The one and only has come, and there can only be one. And at last I am here.
I realize desire and trembling in anger. Though I know that you're a great liar, the world is painted in dark gray. So confused and silent in this age of lies and violence, but never let it cast a shadow on the future that we hold. Going down to reach somewhere together. You and I, we will dream again. Someday we will find out the truth. For the stars above that shine at you, light up another fragile hope. Across the long and winding road. Across the long and winding road. Although the slightest chance of changing the path in which our world is taking slow, it makes sense that the smallest little voice can make the loudest noise. And if they try to tell me my own fate, I'll turn it around, won't hesitate. What's the point of tomorrow if it's a future missing you?
Bring it on, cause I'm just gonna grow up in the battle A. Gonna let the darkness keep on burning my fire. Ain't nobody gonna stop me. I gotta stop this nightmare, because I'm dreaming of my future. Past, future, present is the world that we live in. I ain't scared of my past, because tomorrow keeps approaching fast and screaming out from my pride.
I need you to wipe away your tears. The time has come to face our fears. To know
I'm never falling down, I'll keep on sailing. Now this is my destiny.
defy the world to make you smile. If it keeps you around a while, don't go.
I gotta shake off the pain for you and me. May our failures all rest in peace.
We'll strike back.
Hello, everyone. I'm Drew,
I'm Dean.
and we write Subtlety with Fire.
Still got it. We are back with the reboot slash sequel, the dative boy, if you will, of our anime discussion program.
That's a way to put this. Yes, amazing covers indeed. You could thank a lot of talented artists in there. Near the end, Honest Prick, the ones you're referring to, were done by Amelie and Nate Wants to Battle primarily.
Yeah.
There's
We've
so
also
many
got-
that I have to actually make a list.
We've also got Caleb Hiles,
Jonathan
Young.
Jenny.
Yeah. And then the two artists who we have for the Golden Kamuy opening and the One Piece opening, who I am blanking on the name of, but I know you wrote it down.
I can check. Give me a second. Yeah, so this is a sort of reimagined Subtlety with Fire. I'll get those names by the end of this.
Yep. So I'll just explain what's up here while you're doing that.
Yep.
So we're going to do, much like we did before, a review of the series as a whole. That's going to be the first half of this stream.
Mm-hmm.
I will remind anyone who has seen our previous stuff and inform anyone who hasn't. Our review score is 1 to 5, and a 5 does not mean a show is perfect. It just means
Highest
we could
recommendation.
recommend it to anyone.
Let's see.
And then once we've gotten through that first half of our program, we're going to go and discuss spoiler in-depth discussions of all the stuff that's airing weekly, so maybe this will give you an idea of some of the stuff to keep up with. Maybe you'll want to keep up with it just to keep up with the discussions with us.
And then the final portion of this will just be us talking about long-running shows that we still watch.
Still in the topic of things we're watching weekly, but not new to this season.
The One Piece cover was by Y. Chang, and the Danganronpa opening was by Jenny, and the Golden Kamuy opening was done by Demo Lancaster. So, yep, the artists we listed before, and those three are where we got our covers from. Now, without further ado, let's get into the meat of this program and do our featured review.
So, this week we're talking about ReZero, Starting Life in Another World.
It's an isekai.
It's not what you're going to expect when we first say isekai, though. There's no bullshit OP protagonist.
There's no harem. Well,
that's arguable.
Yeah.
But it's not your typical isekai fare.
Mm-hmm.
Story follows Subaru Natsuki, who ends up in a parallel world and ends up getting bailed out from some muggers by some half-elf girl who's super ashamed of being half-elf, and we don't know why. And then Protag gets murdered.
And
In,
then he's back at the
episode
stand
1.
buying an apple.
Yeah.
So his ability is he's able to go back in time whenever he dies to a certain point. Think of like a save state.
Yeah. I think just a respawn point.
And when you stop to think about going through life that way, you start to realize the sheer horror this protag is going through.
Yeah, especially when the whole show is just him needing to reset time because everything's going to shit around him.
Including him dying, his friends dying.
His love interest dying. His should-be his love interest dying.
Yep. We'll get into that. And the entire season culminates with this one final push of everyone at the manor he's been staying at dying, and him trying to prevent that because of some fucking cult to do with some witch.
Yep. It's got some writing flaws.
It's got some writing flaws.
There's no around that.
Yeah.
There are flaws with this show, but I would thoroughly recommend it.
Like, straight up, my rating for this show is a 4 out of 5. I'm just gonna get that out of the way.
I don't think we should ever get that out of the way.
No.
But let's actually discuss some of these characters and whatnot.
Our main protagonist is Subaru Natsuki?
Yeah.
Yeah. Subaru is voiced by Sean Chiplock.
Yeah, he does a really good job in the role.
As much as
Even though the protagonist frustrates me.
the protagonist himself frustrates me, but Chiplock does good.
And yeah, the protagonist is going to frustrate you, and for the most part, for the first 2/3, it's totally understandable.
he's so completely full of himself, but then after a certain point in the season, it just sort of all makes too much sense.
Yeah, and a lot of it is he is just putting up a front because what else are you going to do when you're living through such hellish bullshit?
Yep. His main love interest is Amelia, a half-elf who is one of the candidates to take over the kingdom.
But everyone hates her because she's a half-elf and this ancient witch was a half-elf.
Yep. Interesting thing, when they first meet, she actually introduces herself as the witch.
Yep, we still don't know why.
Yeah. But a season 2 is coming, apparently, so maybe we'll get answers then.
Then you've got the weird lord dude who runs the...
Oh, you mean Weird Vampire Noct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's voiced by Ray Chase, and it threw me off for a second.
He's super weird, and we don't know what his deal is, and I'm intrigued to find out.
Yeah, that too, Honest Brick. When the time resets, she gets so pissed at him for calling her that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, okay.
And then we have the two most interesting characters.
Yep.
Rem
Rem.
and her sister.
Who cares about her sister? It's all
Nobody!
Rem, we have a statue of her on the table. We have a statue of her over there. She's our first ever waifu of the week. You can just see her in the bottom corner there.
She is the best character in this show, played by Brianna Knickerbocker.
So good.
Yep.
She will make you cry like a bitch. And then get really angry at the fucking protagonist.
Yeah. So, her character arc is honestly really good as well, because through interactions with this protagonist, she really does open up and, relearn to connect with people, seemingly.
Mm-hmm. Her past sort of inhibits her from really caring about people.
Yeah, we're trying to be as spoiler light as possible with the featured reviews, so we can't get too in-depth. But suffice to say,
something reaches a boiling point and the protagonist just breaks down.
And she's the one who's there to pull him out of it.
With, honestly, the most heartfelt speech in anime that I could think of.
With a super tear-jerky insert song.
Yep. Does the waifu of the week have to be from the main series you are covering, just so
no.
we know the rules? No. No.
No, that's just a random thing we put in to make the screen look better.
Yeah. It's there to make the stream look better, and also would be an interesting segment to talk about between featured and going into simuldub, so
Yep.
we'll get into that. She's honestly such a good character that she's worth watching the show for.
Yeah. And honestly, a lot of the other characters, like a lot of the smaller bit player characters are really interesting. Like,
Badass Lord Erica Harlicker.
yeah, well, I was going to say badass knight Chris Niosi.
That too. I was also thinking fucking ninja girl fucking felt.
Yep.
It's got an interesting cast, and it does an actual good amount of world building to get you interested in where this world can go.
Yeah, there's a lot that can happen in the future, and I am very interested to find out what will happen. I can say currently that the season ends on a reasonable stopping point.
Mm-hmm.
Not an acceptable end, but a reasonable stopping point.
Yes. So watch this if you're in for the long haul.
And from what I understand, season 2 at best is gonna, if it keeps the same pace as season 1, catch up. So we're gonna be waiting a while.
Yeah. So with that, I think it's time for the actual ratings.
Yeah.
I already said I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. While not perfect, but still an enjoyable watch that I would recommend to almost anyone.
Yeah, I would also give it a 4. It's got a lot of the Groundhog Day-ish elements that a lot of people liked Steins Gate for. It's got a lot of those typical isekai tropes that a lot of people want without having a lot of the ones that tend to steer people away.
Mm-hmm.
I would just thoroughly recommend it for its overall structure and characters.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm well aware that there's going to be a sizable section of audience who's just not going to care.
Exactly. Random side note. After we finished the series, I found a video of, like, summarizing the entire series in 8 minutes, a la Dragon Ball Kai abridged. It was actually decently fucking funny.
Yep.
It's not for everyone, but it has so much appeal.
Exactly. And if episodes 18 and the final episode together don't make you think the protagonist needs a solid kick in the dick, well, I don't understand you as a person.
Yeah, no, he really does. Now moving on from that, let's talk about why Rem is waifu of the week.
You mean aside from all the previous reasons?
Yep. Fucking look at her. So happy. She just wants to help people.
Yep. And cave in her family's enemies with her giant flail.
That is honestly absurdly big, and how does anyone fling that around? She's just awesome demon maid girl. Of course she's waifu of the week.
Yeah.
Now, this is where spoilers are going to start happening, because now we're going over weekly shows airing on Funimation.
If there are anything that you want to see that is being simuldubbed currently that you do not want spoilers for, you've been warned.
That being said, we are only covering the episodes that have already aired via simuldub, nothing further.
Yeah. As of Thursday night.
As of Thursday night. We need to get a cutoff date some point in the week, because then we'd be watching shit before this stream and just trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
The first show we're covering was the first one to premiere on Funimation.
Yep.
Fruits Baskets.
Basically just covering them in order of air date.
Yeah. The furthest we go in is episode 4 of any show.
Yeah.
Fruits Baskets, 2019, episode 1. Main girl Laura Bailey is an orphan who lives in a tent under a cliff. You know.
Okay, as you do.
She works a job to help provide for herself and appears to be overdoing it a bit. A couple of shady handsome dudes offer to help her out, but she refuses. We'll call them Dog-kun and Rat-kun.
Yep, sounds about right.
She gets sick, and they take care of her. But oh no, a landslide happened. Her tent got crushed by the cliff. Yeah. That'll happen.
Yep, you don't set up a shelter under a cliff typically.
But okay. In my notes, I don't know why, but it's actually spelt raccoon.
God damn it, you funny bastard.
I don't know why. Raccoon saves the picture of her mother that she was keeping in the tent. They offer to let her live there in exchange for cleaning and cooking. While showing her to her room, Cat-kun shows up. She accidentally hugs all 3 of them, somehow.
Don't ask.
And reveal them to be a cat, a dog, and a rat. Unfortunately, no Tom and Jerry hijinks ensue.
So that's the end of the first episode.
And
it is for anyone who doesn't know the premise of Fruits Basket, it follows protagonist girl as she learns to get to know this family of people who turn into the Zodiac when they get hugged. Don't ask me much more than that.
It's just a reverse harem show.
Yep.
It's a good one at that.
Reverse harem, supernatural hijinks. A lot of people loved it when it aired back in 2001, and now it's getting the Brotherhood treatment.
So if you at all cared about it back then, you're going to love this. Unfortunately, it's just not for me. It's not something I'd watch weekly. I'd maybe watch it in the lump once it's all been released, but...
Yeah, I couldn't watch it weekly.
I couldn't care enough to watch it weekly. If you want to keep going with it, that's on you.
If you want a romance comedy with Laura Bailey, that's a good recommendation. But
Yeah. Now, on to our next show, which is probably going to be very divisive. Isekai Quartet, Episode 1. The characters of Overlord and Konosuba are just chilling in their respective worlds when they find these random buttons. Shenanigans ensue and they push the buttons. The button sends them to a school. The Konosuba cast see Ainz and try to formulate a plan of attack. Because undead, we gotta deal with undead. Just like that asshole in the castle.
Mm-hmm.
We get backstory for Tanya. We get backstory for Tanya the Evil from her show, which that's the one of these 3 that we haven't seen, so that was appreciated.
It's the one show of the 4 shows included that we've never even acknowledged until now.
Yep. And then we see, hey, our old buddy Subaru.
Yep.
Yep, we get the fucking ReZero cast in here. And then, surprisingly, some decent humor.
Yeah, it gets...
Every cast member is returned,
All
and each
of the,
character seems to act like themselves, so...
Yeah, it's doing its character work right, and which is kind of all you can hope for with chibi comedy crossover stuff.
And then episode 2, we find out all of them are in the same class, and if they don't cooperate, they will be punished. They all introduce themselves, we get some pretty funny introductions from certain characters. Subaru does his typical over-the-top bullshit. I'm just sitting here hoping him and the dude from Konosuba just become bros.
Yep. I think it was pretty great that Kazuma from Konosuba just sweeps the other 3's introductions under the rug.
Yep. It's like, you don't want to deal with these fucking idiots.
Aqua's in the middle of giving some pontificating introduction. Shut up, she's Aqua.
And then to end the episode, Aqua tries to turn undead Ainz. Ainz is sitting there, oh, that's cute, that's a low level. Oh!
Why did that hurt?
Yeah, so surprisingly, despite being a chibi show, I didn't hate it.
I'm kind of cool with it.
Yeah. It's not great, but it's not terrible.
Anything in the chat about it?
That night is great. His plan of the ape joke was great. Yes. It's weird, but it's not terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving on.
Yeah.
Strike Witches, 501st
joint.
joint.
Isekai Quartet as episodes come.
Strike Witches, 501st Joint Fighter Wing, Take Off, Episode 1. That is the full title of the fucking show!
I don't even think we need to go into the actual summary for this one.
Oh my god, it is just the rambling notes of a madman for this one.
It's honestly just the slice of life tedium and boredom of what I'm assuming are soldiers dealing with some form of supernatural incursion.
Man, it's a shame because they got some decent actresses.
Yeah, it's the
in
best we
lead
could
roles.
figure out, but it was boring as fuck.
They got some decent actresses in the lead roles. It's production IG and the animation looks like garbage. Oh, why the fuck did that happen? It's so bad. We will not be continuing that one.
No, it's terrible. There's really nothing we can say about it. It's just awful.
Now, moving on to something a bit better. Quite a bit. You know, A Girl Who Chants Love at the Bound of This World. What is with these titles?
I don't know. Apparently this is the summer of long, stupid titles.
Eric Vale lays on a roof, and some nurse or teacher or whatever stops to see him. We quickly find out he's the biggest fucking perv and also a shithead.
Yeah.
And I love it.
I would say it's worth checking out at least.
Just
for his performance.
Eric Vale is so good with characters like this. Watch for Aesthetic of a Rogue Hero for proof.
Yep.
We find out he's best friends with Justin Briner and some bitch.
Yep.
We also find out his dad's dead. Oh.
Well, dead / missing /
Who knows?
big old question mark.
He meets up with his stepmom at her construction site. He goes home. Holy fuck, he gets a package and it's some weird artifact. Apparently his father was some sort of historian. And then a lightning strike happens on live TV at the construction site that his stepmom is working at, and he's worried. We get some mysterious girl saying, this beach is dangerous, you shouldn't be here. Okay. The next day, he receives a note from his father saying, hey, go to this shrine. He goes to the shrine, and there's some naked blonde elf girl.
Yep.
Okay.
Don't know what the deal is with that.
She kisses him, says, you know, and disappears. Then, his father's old buddy shows up and pulls a gun on our protagonist.
Yep. Saying, give me the thing, or I'll kill you.
And it ends with him being shot and then randomly zapped back to just being fine on the cliff. What? Episode 2. We find out the thing his father gave him was essentially something that lets him jump between world lines.
Yep.
And they're actually using multiverse theory. Yes!
And beyond knowing that this thing jumps between world lines, that's kind of all we've been given plot-wise is, you know, some character building shit and the machinations of the dude who tried to shoot him and construction foreman asshat.
I don't even know his name. I just call him Asshat.
Yeah, same.
Who, at the end of episode 2, we see some thugs corner his stepmom, and he just keeps repeating time until he's able to protect her from them. And then shithead Foreman shows up, and it's obviously staged, and he saves her.
Yeah.
So there's some weird shit going on there. It's honestly a very interesting show. It's not a show we could do our typical summary of.
Yeah.
Because there's so much going on.
It's a very dense show, and however we describe it, it's gonna sound boring as fuck.
Yeah.
But it's strangely interesting and captivating.
Yes. Like, honestly, here's my entire summary for episode 3. Yeah, we're fucking continuing this. Foreman Dickhead set it up to look like a hero. Kana,
Mysterious girl who said this beach is dangerous, this shrine is dangerous.
Yep. She just shows up and tells them places are dangerous. Kana has a weird necklace, and it's apparently important to her. People keep asking Takia, the protagonist, what he wants to do when he graduates. Apparently people working with the doctor are noticing he seems off, the one who shot him. We see Shady Fuck swiped a document that Takia brought for his stepmom, Ayumi. Press conference goes terrible.
They have a strange relationship.
They do. She just shows up fucking drunk that night, and it's honestly hilarious.
And then is suddenly sober in the next shot.
Yep. It's a weird show. It's got a lot of things going on, but I'm intrigued enough to keep going with it for now.
I would recommend checking it out and forming your own opinion of it for now, because we can't exactly tell you much more than we already have. There's not a whole lot to say about it. That being said, there are some moments that just make me love these writers.
Yeah. Like, Takia in general is so good.
Yeah. And just every time he's just busting the chops of his
buddy
lackey buddy.
Yeah, Justin Briner's sort of his butt monkey. And it's amazing.
Yep.
Now moving on to our next show. This is a good one. A Wise Man's Grandchild.
Oh, this show is fantastic.
Oh, yes. So, here's how the show starts. An office worker walks home pontificating the nature of this world and gets hit by a truck. That's how it starts. Yep. It's an isekai.
But also kind of not.
Kind of not at all. It's interesting. He sort of gets reincarnated into the world, found amongst a pile of corpses. And
as an infant.
Yep. And is raised by Merlin.
Yep.
Just Merlin.
He is aware that he came from a previous world. That's about the extent of it.
Grandpa Merlin praises him for his hunting. Apparently this kid's a fucking prodigy and a half. And they're also staying with some old lady, and Chris Sabat teaches him how to fight.
Yep.
5 years later, we find out he's a teenager now, and someone pitches the idea of him going to an academy, and it just sort of sticks.
Because he is super international incident
level OP.
Cause wars over what country gets to have him levels of OP.
Because he's developed magic this world hasn't seen, like fucking teleportation, nuking things.
Solar beam. Just straight up Pokemon ass solar beam.
And is able to enchant armor further than anyone thought possible.
Like him going, I probably fucked up this enchantment. Everyone else, dude, that's so good we could keep it as a national treasure forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he knows nothing about the fucking world except for fighting and magic. So they decide to send him to a school. And Uncle King just gives him a mansion. Yeah, that's right. The guy who raised him as an uncle is also the king of a kingdom.
Yep. So we have our core party of Protag, whose name is Shin.
Yep.
His buddy, who is Cousin Prince,
Yep.
named August.
August, yep.
And then
2 girls.
the two who want to fuck him.
Yep. And it's honestly a really good cast.
Yeah, like,
what's funny is, one of my notes for episode 1 is, he saved some girls from rapey demon hunter Daru and Dio. Yeah, this kid killed a demon when he was 10, and apparently that's a little unheard of.
Yep.
Everyone looks at him like he's a god.
Also, something that happens near the end of episode 3, like the first real fight of the show.
Yeah.
The protagonist has to end up fighting a dude who's kind of going demon,
Yep.
who's just been a dickhead thus far.
Yep.
And we don't know why he's become a demon, but he is. And the protagonist has to put him down. And actually feels remorse and horror at that fact. Which is kind of novel for a show like this.
What's funny is, during the examinations when he's going into the school, there's just this funny fucking moment where it's like, oh yeah, we were warned about you, please tone it down. He nukes it. He nukes the entire fucking exam room
Like,
with
what
one
part of
spell.
tone it down? He's like, I was toning it down a lot.
Oh. Yeah, he got top marks, and he's become the most popular thing. And this guy, Kurt, just gets real pissed at him. Especially since he gets in the way of what he believes is his right to marry this one girl.
Who has told him no repeatedly, but he's like, fuck you, I'm nobility, I'm
I
better.
can fuck with your family's entire life. And then the king's sons, they're like, oh, you're gonna fucking what now? It just fucking completely just derails that, like, no such thing is happening.
Yeah, the cast is really good. Don't know who the protagonist is, but he's great at the deadpan.
Yep. August actually fucking sort of bullies Shin into starting a fucking club at the school.
Yep.
So now he's teaching everyone his magic. And
Shit tons of people show up, their teacher's like, alright, 90% of you need to fuck off. Let's say this difficult thing is the baseline of
of getting in.
getting in.
Yeah. I'll actually just read the summary for episode 4. Strom, the guy who turned Kurt into a demon, was cornered by the knights into revealing he was the one who turned Kurt into a demon. Shin confronts him and discovers that Strom is also a demon. But it's weird because demons aren't supposed to be able to talk or
But this
communicate.
guy's fully sentient and kind of suave, honestly.
Yeah. And it's kind of a shame we're not going to be seeing any more of him.
Yeah. Well, we don't know that for a fact.
Shin uses Solar Beam to completely nuke Strom, but is apparently confused since something about the spell seemed off. Like it should have just vaporized him. There shouldn't have been an explosion, but there was.
Interesting stuff is afoot. The show's fucking hilarious.
Honestly, it fills the hole that Slime left.
Yep. If you liked that time I got reincarnated as a slime,
You're gonna love
check
this.
out Wise Man's Grandchild. It will probably scratch that same itch. Anything in the chat commenting on any of these shows?
Let's see. Slime Season 2 will come. Oh, it will.
It will. Just, it'll be a little while.
Yeah. Oh god, the next 2 shows. First, we have the Helpful Fox Senko-san. Fuck
hate
this
it.
show.
I hate it.
Hated it.
I hate everything about it.
It's a healing anime, meaning nothing of value actually happens throughout the show. And this could be fine if you got a good cast. This
Or
does
if
not.
you've got, good writing, or if you're inclined to appreciate what the show is doing.
It is just lolly and furry bait, and I just want no part of it.
It's just little girl who's actually 800,
Demigod, Fox.
demigod, fox spirit.
Just cooks for this guy. That's all this episode was.
Yeah, it's just this guy comes home at like midnight. This fox is there. He's like, the fuck? He gets dinner, and then he pets her. And then the episode is over, and we went, no, we're done.
Yeah, no, fuck this. It was creepy. Aha! Now, on to the next show. MIX. It's a follow-up to a 70s anime, a baseball anime. So, here's my summary. Baseball. Baseball family. Baseball school. Baseball club. 4x3 intro.
Yep, that about...
1 out of 5.
It's so fucking boring.
There is one character who doesn't bore me to tears, and he annoys the shit out of me.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because there are 2 really good actors in the main cast.
Yep. Danny Chambers.
Danny Chambers and Clifford Chapman are both in the main cast.
And it's just not good. For
It's-
reference, Danny Chambers is Chisei in Ancient Magus' Bride, and Clifford Chapman is Bakugo in My Hero Academia.
Yeah. And the entire fucking episode is... We don't really learn anything about what's going on other than there's a baseball club. And one guy is a good pitcher, but doesn't pitch as long as the team manager or coach is around, which doesn't make any sense to me, and I don't care to find out
Yep.
further.
And it's like the other main character is a catcher. Oh, so entertaining, exciting. He fucking catches it. I don't care about baseball, and I don't care about this anime.
If you were gonna try and make a baseball-based anime,
Here's the
at
thing.
least make us follow like a hitter or something.
Yeah.
You know, someone who's gonna have to hit that home run and run the bases and give you that climactic moment.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a 1 out of 5, and we're not continuing it.
I don't think I could personally call it a 1.
Maybe a 2.
I'd probably give it a 2, because I don't have a, anger towards it.
Okay.
I'm just bored with it.
Our next
It's
show...
not Watamote.
No. Our next show is something that sounds like it'd be incredibly pretentious and something I'd hate, but I loved it. Kono Oto Tonare, Sounds of Life.
Oh yeah, no, this is worth watching. I just think it's worth watching.
We hear some guy named Kudo is bad news. Glasses-kun is gathering members for the Koto Club. The Koto is a Japanese wood harp, and it's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Kudo's interested in joining the Koto Club, and he cleans the club room after some fucking hooligans mess it up and beat up our protag.
Yep.
Takuzo, the guy with glasses, tells Kudo he doesn't believe Kudo actually wants to join. Kudo visits some vacant lot, and we find out his grandfather used to make Kotos. Grandpa Gran Torino taught him everything there is about the Koto, and Daddy Eric Vale abandoned him.
Yep.
His old gang destroyed his grandpa's shop, and he blames himself for it. His grandfather died a few days later. Kudo returns to the club and finds Takuzo knocked out, and he gets blamed. Kudo refuses to say anything about it because of the guilt. And Takuzo ends up saving his ass, and Kudo joins the club. That's episode 1.
Yeah.
Sounds generic and lame, but it was actually really good with
Character
strong...
writing is fantastic.
Yeah, like, Kudo is so good.
the voice cast is top notch.
Yep.
Like there was one fucking scene where it got a legitimate chuckle out of me, where the hooligans are just walking by. Yeah, good thing. We totally aced framing that dick.
And then Kudo's friend's just sitting there reading a book.
like,
You fucking what?
Did you not notice I was standing here?
Yeah. Episode 2. This one's a much shorter summary because not a lot actually happens.
Nope.
New bitchy girl offers to join the club, but Kudo doesn't like her attitude until he hears her play. Her goal is to take them to nationals to further her own career. She's from some sort of family.
Yeah, some sort of
Koto royalty
Koto
family.
dynasty of top shit talent.
She tells Kudo if he's the reason the instruments are damaged, from previous episode, then he has no right to play them. This really gets to him, and the rest of the episode is him trying to fix the Kotos.
Yeah, and there's a great scene where he's just talking to her and he's like, well, what do I have to do to get what it takes?
It's honestly extremely good character building.
He's like, you don't think I have what it takes.
Exactly.
What does it take?
Characters are everything in a series like this, and this series hits a home run with them.
Exactly. It's so shockingly good.
Yeah. one is like unwatchable. Fair enough. This one, we're going to be continuing it.
Yeah.
It's really good. Oh my fuck. Now the show that actually pisses me off the most, and it does get a 1.
Yeah,
After Lost.
This deserves a 1. Because this angers me.
I'll sum up this entire episode. Dude breaks blue-haired girl out of some fucking facility. Find out they have to go to some place called The Lost.
That's
it.
That's it. We don't know.
We don't know what The Lost
who any
is.
of these people
we don't
are.
Know where it is.
We don't know where any of these people are. We don't know what they're doing, why they're doing it, how they're doing it.
We don't know if this is some sort of future or alternate world or whatever. But the place that got nuked looks like Shibuya. Is it Shibuya? I don't fucking know. The show isn't telling me everything. 1 out of 5.
Yeah, like the show.
It is a show meant for people that are so far up their own ass.
This is a show where I fully assume the only way you'll understand what's happening in episode 1 is if you've seen the whole show.
Yep.
Which is, in my opinion, the single worst thing a writer can do.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't concisely tell me any form of information about what's going on in your first episode, I'm gonna tune out. And this is a problem I'm noticing with a lot of writers these days, is they have this...
Especially younger writers.
Yeah. And especially North American YA writers.
Yeah.
They seem to have this aversion to providing information because they think exposition in any form is equivalent to a 2-page exposition dump. They think telling you anything is a bad thing because lengthy explanations are a bad thing. For some reason, there's this mentality of show, don't tell, to the extreme, to the point that I'll even give an example of someone I saw making an argument about modern Ruby, where someone's backstory is explained in the middle of an actual fight scene. Just quickly, like, oh yeah, no, this is why this guy has beef with us. Let's just deal with it and we'll look into it later. And they're like, well, they should have given us a flashback there.
Oh, sure,
why?
make the season longer and make it drag even further.
Why would you want a flashback there? There's no point in it being there.
It just derails the plot.
Because if you want to set up a flashback explaining why this guy is pissed that, you know, their sibling got into this profession and got hurt, you have to then set up the setting and the characters and the time difference, and there's a lot of work that goes into making a flashback.
They'd have to
and
make an
a lot
entire
of time
fucking
investment.
episode for that one. Be creative with exposition, or chop them up and put them into smaller digestible bits.
Exactly. There's absolutely nothing wrong with one character explaining something to another character for the sake of actual information conveyance.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't. It was awful. Now, to what may be the best show of the season. Fairy Gone.
Full Metal JoJo.
Full Metal JoJo. Ash-Covered Girl, Episode 1. We see a village get burned down, and then we get a hype as fuck opening to get away from that scarring moment for those characters' lives.
Yep. Though in that moment, it's like, it does give you this bit of, hey, a crazy war happened.
And one of our pro-tags used to serve in it. Okay.
Cool.
Some girl sneaks backstage at a mafia auction to check out the items. She gets confronted by Free, a bodyguard who tells her about fairies. Someone breaks into the auction and kills a few people using a stand. I mean fairy.
Yeah.
Free summons his fairy to fight her, a big old wolf creature.
Yep.
In the confusion, Rifle-chan, whose real name is Marlia, her from earlier, the one who was talking to Free, somehow gets a fairy through a primordial fairy flying into her.
Which apparently isn't supposed to happen.
That's not supposed to happen, and her fairy's straight up Titania. I'm calling it that because it's Depiction Max's Titania's, but the stands don't actually have names, so whatever.
Yeah, we don't know.
Veronica, the assassin, escapes as Free asks Riflechan if she wants to join the government group meant for dealing with fairies.
Also, there's some lengthy historical beef between the two girls here.
Yeah.
Like, they've got some past, and...
They both fled the burning village all those years ago. That's all we know.
Yep.
Now, episode 2, Wolf Collar and Swan Feathers. Let's see. Marlia's parents died the day she was born, and she has been called the Disaster since.
Fun times.
We see a soldier gave his life to save Free, and that sort of scarred him. And then we find out the Arcane Mafia's a thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Arcane Mafia is a thing, and they're trying to sell artificial fairies.
They meet up with 2 others and see a carriage hauling goods. Their job is to make sure this deal doesn't go down.
I feel like we need to mention this here. These carriages have robot legs at the front.
Yeah, they are fucking spider mech carriages. It's awesome. They got like 8 legs. One of the people in the caravan just sort of strays away from the group. Marlia and Free follow. They stop the guy from attacking the others. It's Wolfram, a soldier from Free's unit in the Great War, played by David Matrongan.
Yeah.
Him and Ian Sinclair have beautiful chemistry.
It's so good.
Wolfram attacks and wounds Marlia and escapes. The Mafia sends artificial fairies after them. Yeah, because they can make those. Oh no.
Mecha stand.
Big old anime fight with cool powers happens. Oh yeah, no, like each...
It is worth checking out.
Yeah, it is.
If you like the aesthetic of Full Metal Alchemist and the bollocks of JoJo,
it's for you.
you are doing yourself a disservice by not watching Fairy Gone.
Wolfram and Free face off. Wolfram finds the other Mafia guy and kills him. Wolfram hops onto a carriage and tries to escape as Free chases after him on a motorcycle. Wolfram killed most of the Mafia goons to cover up his tracks so Free can't find him.
'Cause he's a thorough motherfucker.
Yep. This show's real good.
Yep.
I can't wait to watch more of it.
Yeah, the protagonist is cool. I'm interested in what Marlia's deal is. She seems interesting. The 2 characters they met up with on that...
Matronga, who is that?
Todoroki in My Hero, Tomoya in Clanad. I feel like those are 2 solid examples.
Yeah. Oh, him. Yeah, no, it's really good.
Yeah.
The cast is excellent. The action's good. The animation's beautiful. The soundtrack.
The random sniper crew they meet up with in episode 2 are pretty cool.
Yeah, where the one guy's power is, I could shoot this arrow once super fucking far, and she could scout super fucking far ahead and tell me where to shoot. That's an awesome power!
Her stand is Scout Frog.
Yep. Oh, it's all just so cool.
We don't really know what the rules to these magic shit are yet, but
Yeah, both these...
I'm totally cool with figuring that out as we go.
Yeah. Now, and here's the thing, this show actually also had some really good world building, letting us understand that this is a completely different world from our own.
Yeah.
Not even like an alternate history thing, just a completely different world.
Yeah, because we're just getting fantasy country names. We're getting
Town names.
These town names, these historical events that happened in relation to this war.
Mm-hmm. This is one we will definitely be continuing.
Yeah.
Now, Midnight Occult Civil Servants, Episode 1.
This show's weird.
Miyako joins a new job at the Shinjuku Ward. Nocturnal Community Missions. Nocturnal Community Relations Division. It is in the morning. I've only had 1 coffee.
Yep. Well, it's not in the morning. It's 2.
Turns out Shinjuku is full of yokai, angels, demons, and whatnot. Okay.
And apparently they can deal with it with magic police tape.
Yep, and the job is to keep them non-violent towards humans. Turns out Protag is a rarity that can actually communicate with them. And also, he's Abe no Seimei.
Yeah, that's
That's
as much plot as we got out of episode 1.
It's funny, it's like he's just sitting there trying to talk to these demons and stuff, and then just his buddy shows up, oh god! Throws a grenade.
And then this Angel and Tengu who are trying to elope just freak the fuck out and run.
Yep. It's flawed but interesting.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see where it's gonna go.
Fuck. I just hope the next show is.
I get the feeling it's probably gonna turn into some sort of Monster of the Week type show with a loose overarching narrative.
Yeah.
That being said, I could be totally wrong and it could go for an actual narrative.
Yep.
But that's the feeling I'm getting so far. I do think it was a pretty great moment of the episode where they hit the crew by mistake, and then like these angels and Tango are just trying to apologize. I was like, "Oh my god, we didn't mean to hit you," and then
Just one of them.
they're like, "Oh my god, they're gonna attack!" The fuck are you guys on about? They're trying to apologize. You can understand them,
Yep.
can't you?
Next show, fuck, Robahachi. Robbie tries to start a scam that goes poorly. A debt collector shows up at his house. Hachi is this debt collector's name. In a panic, he shoves him into an airlock. They launch off into space because his penthouse is a spaceship. They launch off into space to escape the Mafia. The Mafia follows them with a ship of their own. They find fighter ships in the basement, which merge into a mech. The writing's so bad.
And while it's merging into a mech, it plays its own theme song.
Yeah, that's funny, but the rest of the episode really sucked.
Yeah, like, people probably have some appreciation for what the show's doing. If you watched a lot of the mech garbage of the 80s
And early 90s, yeah.
then you might find something in this show that we're not. That's totally possible, that this show is jam-packed with Easter eggs to the shit you love if you like mech shit.
Yeah, but for me, I got nothing.
I don't care about mech shit. None of this writing was making me laugh, and it's a comedy.
Yeah. So,
I just couldn't care.
so we started with a fair amount of shows, but we're only continuing 6. We will be continuing Isekai Quartet, Yuno, Wise Man's Grandchild, Kono Oto Tanare, Fairygon, and Midnight Occult Civil Servants.
So, if you want to join in on these discussions next week,
You can catch up with those.
Watch up with those.
I'll probably post the list to Twitter for people to be able to keep up. And present, because there are still Gundam series. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gundam's never stopped.
It never will.
No, it makes a lot of money.
Yep. Now, here's where we get into long-running shonen series.
Yeah, shows that have been going for a while, and we're just going to be talking about the most recent episode.
Currently, the 4 we are following are Fairy Tail, Dragon Ball Super, Hunter x Hunter, and
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Diamond is Unbreakable. All 4 of these are currently airing. Actually, I think 3 of them on Toonami.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain you're right.
Yep. And, they're all pretty good lately.
Yeah, so, shall we...
Start with Fairy Tail?
Yeah.
So, Fairy Tail, episode 303. If you don't want spoilers, you might want to tune out for a bit.
I mean, we warned about spoilers a while ago.
Yep. First half of the episode, not okay.
No.
Not okay at all.
I was not okay with the first half of this episode, and I want to discuss it in detail.
We see Gajiel give his life to save Levi from a guy who has all the powers of Tartaros.
Which is, first off, terrifying.
And the fact that Gajiel turned into a Bane dragon?
Yeah, using his iron and dark and absorb the Bane particles.
Yeah.
To get Dragon Force for the first time, just to save Levi, and god damn the speech he delivers at the end.
It hurts so much.
Props to his actor, fucking hard.
Yeah. Like, I've always known this dude to be a really good actor from stuff like this and Golden Kamuy, but this knocks it out of the fucking park with how good it is. Mm-hmm. Like, this is a point to point to this act. This is like where you point for this actor and go, he can fucking do this. He is so good.
And they better pull some anime bullshit, so he's okay.
Yeah. Because he gets absorbed. He just gets pulled into some sort of singularity, into another world.
He got pulled into hell.
Yeah. There's other things that happen in this episode, like Irene talks to Agnologia like he ain't even shit.
Which is very concerning.
Yes. And we also see Mest has brainwashed Brandish into killing August. But August is far too OP for a mere knife to do him in.
Yeah.
And he gets angry.
Yeah, this is
gonna go badly for them.
This is the point where, oh shit, things have gone wrong.
And then Irene casts some sort of spell that covers the entire continent.
Yeah.
What it does, we don't know yet.
We just know she did some form of enchantment bullshit and it affected the whole fucking continent.
Yep. Oh boy. Mest is a dick. He is!
Yeah.
He fucking panicked, and this is what happens when you have this kind of magic. It's fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving on. Oh, this was a good one. Dragon Ball Super, episode 108.
This was good.
Goku is busy fighting Fat Magical Girl. Gohan tries to fight off a Yard Rat from Universe 2.
Universe.
Frieza shows up to help Gohan out. Frieza easily defeats the Yardratty and eliminates him. Then Frost shows up. Big twist! Frieza turns on Gohan and knocks him out cold. Still in the ring, but out cold. Frieza then starts teaching Frost about new forms above the one he is currently using. Bigger twist, Frieza and Gohan were putting on a show, and Frieza eliminates Frost.
Yep. Super made Frieza entertaining to me, and I love it.
He's just fucking hamming it up this entire time. Chris Ayres is the perfect Frieza.
Yeah, when we first saw Frieza on Namek, I couldn't give a fuck.
He just seemed like generic alien overlord.
Yeah, he was nothing interesting. And as it's progressed, Frieza's just become a petty, evil cunt.
Yeah, he's just a dick. Like, I know of one scene in Super movie Broly. Holy shit. Oh, I can't wait to see that. Yeah, no, this episode was real good, and we're all these shows is not a question of if we're continuing, it's that we're continuing, we just want to talk about it.
Yeah, and if any of these shows sound interesting as we're discussing them, maybe it's an excuse to go back and watch them from the beginning. If you haven't.
Frieza Frost almost bromance, bulky form that Cell makes fun of. Yeah, that was fucking funny. He just goes, Jack, you should be able to do this. Oh, okay. And then Frieza looks at him. Oh, you're an idiot. Just fucking blasts him. What's Greg and Chris Ayres working off of each other?
It's so good.
Yeah. I kind of wish we got more of it.
Yeah.
And now the highlight of this week.
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter.
Oh my god, this was
Episode 140.
so good.
It appears that the Zoldyck family will let Killua use his sister's power to heal Gon. But with some heavy restrictions.
Which, by the way, for anyone who's wondering, because they refer to her as his sister and his brother at different points, we did some looking into.
Yeah, we looked into it, and her actual not possessed form is female.
And her possessed form with the black eyes
Is he.
Is he.
Yeah. Killua now travels back to the hospital with his sister and four butlers. One of the butlers answers the phone. It's Leorio! Leorio and Moral work out a way they can get going the treatment without anyone seeing. Mostly Moral.
Mostly all moral.
Yep. Leorio leaves the hospital, stating that he has some people he needs to talk to. He tries calling Kurapika with no answer.
And then we cut to the Hunter Association
Q&A
about their elections.
He is the first question, and he outright just grabs the mic and asks Gene why he hasn't gone to see Gon.
It's like, why haven't you gone to see your son? You know he's kind of dying, right?
Did he ask you to come? He fucking can't!
And then...
Gene completely just dodges the question entirely.
And this is where we get to see Leorio's Nen power for the first time.
Leorio punches down, breaks the podium, His fist glows, and then a fucking portal opens up underneath Jing and fucking uppercuts him out of the seat.
He teleport punches,
The strongest fucking hunter that we know of.
yeah, right out of his seat, out cold. It is the hypest shit, and the fact that it happens right in the middle of hunter elections, I kind of hope Leorio suddenly just becomes a big deal. Like, no slope to the curve, just Leorio, big deal.
Chairman Leorio. Oh my god, this week was so good for Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, it was.
Out of the weekly shows we covered, I say Fairy Gone wins this week for being straight up best so far.
Yeah.
It's got the tightest package and everything, but
That being said, there can't be any there can't be too much said against Most Epic Punch to the Face.
yeah. But that's not the stuff that's airing the season.
That's not new.
For long running stuff, Hunter x Hunter wins easily. Oh my god, that was so good.
And if your personal aura being channeled into crazy, ridiculous abilities that are unique to each character, and crazy monsters and shit, and all that long-running shonen nonsense sounds good to you, watch Hunter x Hunter. It's really good.
It's on Netflix. You can watch it there.
Yeah, it's really good. Watch the 2011 version, not the 1999 version.
Don't watch that. It's slow, it's plotting, it's boring.
It also only gets to the end of, like, the third plot arc.
So you don't even get to the real good shit.
Yeah. It gets to the end of the shit in New York, New City. Which is what they call their New York, and I hate it.
Yep.
It's so dumb.
It's good to be an anime fan.
Yeah, it's a good season right now.
It is. There's some duds. Oh my god, are there duds?
The new stuff is a definite mixed bag, but we got 6 shows we're remotely interested in out of it.
Yeah.
Plus the shit we're already keeping up with.
And I'm so excited to see where Hunter x Hunter goes from here.
Yeah. And I don't think there's too much of a point in discussing this last episode of JoJo, because...
Well, first of all, there wasn't one this week.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the last episode of JoJo was the first half of a plot thing.
So we'll just cover the entire plot thing when the new episode airs tomorrow. Well, tonight, technically.
Yeah.
But with that, I think that's it for our first installment of the new Subtlety with Fire.
Welcome back to our reboot sequel thing.
As for what our next featured review will be, it's something that, if you've known us over the last year, we've told everyone to watch this show.
Yep.
We're reviewing Hina Matsuri.
Yep, and then after that... Oh, don't worry, we're not just gonna review shows we like. We promise.
Oh, the one after that I'm not looking forward to. See you guys then.
Long ago, Gold Roger, the king of pirates, obtained everything the world had to offer, and his dying words drove countless souls to the seas.
You want my treasure? You can have it. I left everything in one place. Now you just have to find it.
And thus a new age began. This is the time known as the Great Pirate Era.